Hello everyone, welcome to Leoguidance time if this is your first time, and welcome back if you're a returning subscriber. It's so good to have you here. So today's quick card reading is going to be about where you don't give yourself enough credit for. I'm quite excited about this reading because I hope that this is going to bring some more awareness and also some peace into your heart center as well. Most probably I'll be shedding light into the side of yourself that you already know, but you might not be acknowledging it as much. But without further ado, we are going to have 3 groups and I'll be using all the cards you see in the intro and nothing more. So group number 1 is going to be with the Wisdom Oracle cards. Group number 2 is going to be represented with the Moonology Oracle cards. And group number 3 is going to be represented with the Radiant Wise Tarot. So you can stop the video whenever you need to make your selection. If you haven't already done, you're going to find the timestamps in the description box below. And also you can find my details and any further contact for personal readings there as well. But whenever you made your selection, I'll be seeing it. Hello group number 1, welcome to your reading. If you have chosen this Wisdom of Oracle cards, then this is going to be your reading. So I will just put these cards aside and I'll be using them to get the advice for you at the end. But I will be starting with your tarot cards at first. So we are asking the question to the Spirit about where this group number 1 doesn't give themselves enough credit for, Spirit. Where does a group number 1 doesn't give themselves enough credit for, Spirit? I'm just hearing school. I'm not sure if you're already studying, or is it about your work or something that you wanted to study or you wanted to pursue before. Maybe it was your passion but you haven't done. So it seems like the general messages are coming right now. It usually doesn't happen before I set my intention into, but you might be being too hard on yourself around your studies, around work. There might be maybe some perfectionism, or you might be thinking that you are not enough about what you're doing. You might be thinking that other people are doing always better than you. They're always at a better space or a better place, or they always know more than you know what to do. It just gives me like some lack of confident vibes if you're resonating with this. And if you were resonating with the fact that, let's say that you studied something, you're working on some specific area, but there's always some different passion for you, or you don't even have to be in the working life. You might be already studying something and you might be thinking that this is not my passion. So there might be some juggling around that area on your mind as well. Or if you have been already just switching gears and turning back to what you're passionate about to move on to that area, this might be also a confirmation that this is your reading. But I will stop just wobbling and hopefully I'll just get into the point. So, Spirit, where does group number 1 does not give themselves enough credit for? In what area the group number 1 doesn't give themselves enough credit for? What would you like to highlight in here or add on the top of the intro message? Okay. We have 10 of Wands in reverse. I'm picking up an energy that you are there for everyone and everywhere for all the purposes. You might be doing it so effortlessly, like it might be one of your life missions on purpose to actually help others, is what I'm picking up on. And you might not be giving yourself enough credit for all the amazing things that you have done for other people, and how effortlessly and how effortlessly you're doing it. And in a way that how you do is, I'm hearing incredible and so unique. At the same time, you don't expect anything back in return. And not everyone just does things from the purity of their heart. But when it comes to you, it's just so pure. You just do it because it makes you feel good. And to see other people feel better makes you feel even better. So it's just like very, very heartfelt and heart-centered energy coming from you. You might not be giving yourself enough credit for the impact that you have in other people's lives, even the strangers, but most of all the family, friends, special others in your life. And at the same time, even let's say, the random people, even like colleagues, the ones that maybe you don't have too much of an in-depth interaction, but still you do affect other people's life in a positive way. You do make them feel better. Sometimes it might come as like a tower effect as well. And I said I have 9 of Swords in here. Oh my god, you are an overthinker, group number 1. I don't want to say it, but it's as if like it's your second nature. You might be having usually like some sleep problems. It doesn't have to be in a big extent of like insomnia or, that you wake up like several times in the middle of the night. Maybe you do, maybe you have insomnia, but I just feel like your mind is always running. You might have heavy Gemini, Aquarius, or Libra in your chart as well. You think outside of the box is what I'm hearing, and like your mind always works. Like, let's say that you wake up in the middle of the night for a toilet, and then you start having the rush of ideas to you. It doesn't have to be like what you have done 5 years ago or 15 years ago. It might be simply as if like you start getting downloads and ideas and everything, and you're just like, oh my god, can you just let me sleep? I'm just gonna go back to bed within a minute. Just like, let's not get activated right now. But when it comes to where you don't give yourself enough credit for, is that it's really getting me an energy that you don't see how impactful you are in other people's life and how much other people appreciate you being in their life and being the person that you are. You don't wear masks. You are the person of who you are. Like, whatever you see is whatever you get, is the vibe that you give. And I feel like you want everyone to be happy, and you do not want you do not want to even make anyone like sad. You might be going into extents of like, let's say, sacrificing even from yourself, your well-being, or your priorities at times. This is giving me some Libra energy, to be honest. Oh, I saw 2 of Cups in here. Definitely for the ones that you love, you sacrifice a lot is what I'm getting. And you don't think that even that's a virtue. You think that this is how it's supposed to be with the Strength card. You don't give yourself enough credit for everything you've gone through, everything you've been through. And still that you are not a pessimistic person. Still you're not angry at people. Still you're not holding grudges. Like, I usually think that I'm good with the words, but I feel like I'm speechless at this moment. And the fact that why I feel speechless is just because it feels like I'm talking with someone who's extra humble. So whatever I say, whatever format I put those informations into words, into sentences, is not going to make as much effect compared to the case where you guys would have actually seen and understood it by yourselves. So, again, we still have the 2 of Cups in here. Okay. What else in here? We have 4 of Swords. I also feel that Spirit would like to highlight that you don't have enough rest. Like when it comes to your passions, your creativity, and the things you would like to create, you might be actually extra enthusiastic and you do not know where to stop and when you need to like take a rest, even if your body might be feeling quite exhausted. But since you're doing something that you so much love and passionate about, you might be like, no, I could just still like push forward. But this is exactly the moment that you need to stop and take a time out for yourself and rejuvenate. Because I feel like you giving a lot, uh, without expecting back in return, which is beautiful. But also there needs to be a fine line if there isn't already about like, okay, I gave enough, and then am I taking back enough? Like if I'm not taking back from that person, then am I giving myself enough after I gave to others? Because I need to rejuvenate, I need to take a time out for myself. So there's an emphasis in here that you don't give yourself like enough credit about how much you impact other people's life in the most beautiful ways possible, and also you don't give yourself enough time to rest after that. Again, I feel like this is one of your life missions and purposes, that what makes yourself fulfilled. So let's say that your ultimate path or the income source would be including you interacting with people and seeing your impact on other people's lives, and making it for better, better for good. And with the justice in here underneath the Nine of Swords, it feels like you're an advocate for other people's lives. Like we have a lot of, like, I was picking up Libra from Nine of Swords. I do not know what this stands for in what sign specifically, in what planet, but the justice is for Libra in here at least. So you're a very fair and square person. Even if, let's say that something is happening, you don't agree, you do not like some people's perspective in that situation, you still don't make them feel bad. You just want to make everyone feel understood and included. But I feel like you're giving too much on the sake of it from yourself while doing that. So when it comes to what you don't give yourself enough credit for is like how incredibly you're considerate when it comes to everyone else's involved well-being. How fair you are and how compassionate you are to people, to animals. Like most people, when it comes to the people that they do not agree or necessarily like, they don't try to find a middle way. They don't necessarily consider their size. Like their well-being is more important than the people who doesn't make them feel good. But when it comes to, there's a lot of humanitarian size in here. Again, I'm thinking like outside of the box thinking, maybe like you're opening people's minds up to different avenues. You're making them feel so understood and good about themselves that they feel stronger with the strength card here after they've been with you. But remember that after any kind of like an interaction that you made a positive impact on the other person's side, you have to also feel better, because otherwise it's not a balanced energy exchange. So be mindful of that one. And if you ever felt a little bit more drained after seeing someone, then it means that there was some imbalance in the energetic exchange, and you need to basically go and take a time out for yourself and rejuvenate yourself and isolate yourself maybe from that person for a little while. With the Eight of Wands in here underneath the strength, I feel like your impact is very immediate. Like your beautiful impact you cause on other people's presence and energy shifts, etc. is very, very imminent. Even like seeing you is the effect that you create positively in other people's lives. Let's get some numerology cards about where this group number 1 doesn't give themselves enough credit for, spirits. Can we get maybe 2 cards where the group number 1 doesn't give themselves enough credit for? It was gonna come up, but they were like 2 cards flying, but they got back in. So, ooh, I got 2 cards this time. I never get whatever I ask for, usually with the cards. Okay, the answers you need are coming. It's a full moon in Gemini. Ooh, take time to breathe out. So more or less the same message is repeating it for me, because take time to breathe out. This disseminating moon is telling me that you might not be taking enough time out for yourself during day-to-day life, that I feel. And at the same time, you're quite creative. I'm jumping onto another point right now. You're quite creative. You might love painting. You might have a specific connection with the moon itself, and even like love looking at the moon or anything about the moon, or like painting even around the moon. So actually, if you are at a period of your life that things are getting a little bit calmed down, or you feel like you've gone through something a little bit big and like you are getting out of it to the other side and you need some time out for yourself, indulging yourself and some of your free time into painting, art, in whatever form or shape you're doing that, basically, is going to be amazingly actually rejuvenating for you and relaxing for you. Also, if you're creating something out there, I'm also picking up heavy energy with the Gemini and the blue colors in here about throat chakra, your words. Like your words, like your thoughts, like thinking outside of the box. Maybe you need to write some things down, you know, like channeling, like whenever you're writing, I feel like you're also channeling. Like there's something about an automatic writing in here, which means that usually, at least from my understanding, you don't need to like think anything specifically. It's not like, okay, now I'm going to sit down and write a storyline. It's not like that. It's just taking a empty paper and a pen and just start writing. You can just put an intention around, let's say that whatever you need to want to have a clarity on, and then you stop your mind, literally, you stop expecting anything, you stop forcing your mind to find any solution, but you start basically scratching or wobbling around the paper, like whatever words start coming. It doesn't have to make sense at first, but after you're done, and even like within the progress through the middle, you're gonna see that it start making some sense. It means like you're actually channeling things that you put intention into for your highest good. Might be very, very helpful. So this is getting into some advice message rather than where you don't give yourself enough credit for, but I guess it's very much connected that the spirit really wants to highlight that you need to prioritize yourself. You need to give yourself some time. You haven't been doing it for such long, so right now the messages are coming in an intensified way. With Moon in Gemini, where you don't give yourself enough credit for is you might think that you have some duality within you, that it might not be making so much sense. There might be high tendency for you to criticize yourself. Like you might be thinking that, why did I think like that? Why did I think like that about that person? Why did I do that? Why did I behave in that way? Why didn't I behave in that way? So I feel like there's a lot of criticization towards you from yourself. You might have internalized some things while you were growing up, maybe from a parental figure. It might be a mom, not sure. Like something specific in here, you might be feeling that whatever I do there's always something better. But no, you being you is enough already. So you are not giving yourself enough credit for the wonders of your mind, about the wonders of your mind. I feel like you really need to let your mind and let yourself loose even more often than you think you should be doing it. You might be actually setting some kind of like a time within a week, couple of times, even in your calendar if you're too busy, to just let it out. Like even in a writing form, just channeling. You can even like set it for like 10 minutes or something, whatever is like the minimum barrier for you, so that you know that you will be creating some relaxation time for yourself. So can we get some last advice for group number 1, please, spirits? What advice you would like to highlight for group number 1, please? Okay, we have Between Worlds, group number 1, and you might have some messages in group number 3 as well. So let me read this one for you from the guidebook. Yes. So the oracle message says that between the worlds is where you must let go of the tendency to make assumptions. This is a time when you are unable to see what is ahead. Cultivate curiosity and trust the process of the change and growth. You are done learning the lessons of the recent experiences. In this place between what was and what will be is a state of making and unmaking and making again. What is essential now is to admit not knowing. There is great freedom and power to be unleashed. A mystery that is not yours to understand waves the webs of life within a divine matrix of consciousness greater than your own thoughts, feelings, beliefs, desires, and decisions. The seeds that were planted in the past begin to take root, but what surfaces will probably not be what you expect. When you are between the worlds, you are invited to see with the curious eyes of a child glimpsing a rainbow for the first time. Do so and you will not be disappointed. So I feel like you guys really want some answers right now. You want to know what is ahead specifically for the future. However, this might not be the time for you to actually find out so much. You can still get some insights and find more, but I feel like the biggest thing that you are guided into right now to process your own feelings and see what you need to release and why you need to release that. You might keep asking yourself questions like every day. For example, what do I feel today? How do I feel today? You can even keep a journal of it and then see within a week of progress or 2 weeks of progress about where you were and where you are right now. You can even scale your feelings. Like you can okay, how do I feel today? Or how happy, how sad, in general, how am I feeling today on a scale of 1 to 10? And then you can see the progress, and this might also help you to a little bit, let's say, not disassociating from your feelings, but it's in a way that making it a little bit more objective. That if you had a tendency to spiral around the details or some feelings again and again, which might be preventing for you to actually process them, this might make it a little bit more structured for you to see it more objectively, so that you can actually maybe be able to move forward a bit faster. But this is all I got for you, group number 1. I hope the reading was helpful. I hope it brings some insights. I would love to hear from you down in the comments if you would like to share. Please give it a thumbs up to the video. Subscribe to my channel if you haven't already. It really do helps me. And if you want to book a personal reading with me, you can always reach out to me and find my email address in the description box below and the details. But I'm wishing you an amazing rest of your day whenever you are watching it, and I hope to see you next time. Until then, take care of yourselves and bye-bye. Hello, group number 2, welcome to your reading. If you have chosen the Moon Oracle cards, then this is going to be your reading. So let us start with your reading, and under the bottom of the deck I actually saw Aries. So Aries might be important for you. It doesn't necessarily have to be your sun sign, but it might be quite dominant in your basically chart. And I will just put these cards aside, and I will first start with your tarot cards. So Spirit, can we get insights about where the group number 2 doesn't give themselves enough credit for? Where group number 2 doesn't give themselves enough credit for, Spirit? Where group number 2 doesn't give themselves enough credit for? I am hearing independence. Your independence, your foundation, where you are at life might be quite important for you. Ooh, Ace of Pentacles. You're quite an accomplished group. You have your own demons, you have your own overthinking, and you have a tendency to keep putting yourself under a heavy workload or burdens, I believe. And you might not be giving yourself enough credit for how come you already come. How come you accomplish until this time? Like, I love seeing Ace of Pentacles at the start of your basically journey. I want to say, I feel like you are at the point of your life, you're starting your own journey, and you open up a new door for yourself. You're extremely successful, you're extremely determined, you're going to get what you want, and you're opening up new doors for you. And know that universe is supporting you, and there's a new wish is coming forward for you. At least they're making me say. There might be even more, but there's going to be something handed to you, just like this Ace of Pentacles in here, group number 2. Know that, believe that, be sure about that. Oof. High Priestess. This is getting juicy. Okay, so what else? One more here. Where does group number 2 doesn't give themselves enough credit for? Oof. 9 of Pentacles. I love this group number 2. Let me pull them here. I will also I was already talking at this stage for group number 1, but I want to get all of your cards out here. Can we clarify the Ace of Pentacles in here, please? Spirit. And I have to say, you don't give your intuition enough credit for. You don't give yourself enough credit for how incredibly intuitive you are. You know when to take action and what to take action towards. Like, it's foreseeing the future. It's like claircognizance. About the 6 clairs. You can also Google claircognizance. I really want to get the clarities, please. Thank you. Oh, we have Queen of Cups under the Ace of Pentacles. What about for the High Priestess spirits? You're very well off. You're very established in terms of your finances, in terms of your materialistic senses, in terms of your career, your studies, your home life. You are way ahead than you are thinking and giving yourself enough credit for. You can even say that comparing to your peers. Oof, okay. Very interesting to see the 3 of Swords in here. So, group number 1. Group number 2. Can we get the clarity for the Queen of Cups as well in reverse? You don't give yourself enough credit for when it comes to, I even want to say finances. You might be holding on to some kind of an old limiting beliefs about how much you should accomplish before you see yourself or accept yourself as successful. So you might be thinking that you have to be quite harsh and rough if you want to be an authority figure, and this might be actually creating some kind of disresonance or disconnect against your true nature, because I am picking up an energy that you're extremely intuitive, but you might be thinking that where I want to go and achieve in this lifetime is not making sense for me to have this kind of inner knowing or intuition that highly. I don't see the reason why I have this gift or spiritual gift, because I'm very much focused on this area, which is 180-degree difference than what I want to create in life. So I believe that the fact that the reason why this Queen of Cups come in reverse is because there's some kind of a disassociation between what you think that you want to create in this life versus your intuition, what's calling out for you. Because also the 2 of Pentacles is in reverse. You're trying to balance and juggle multiple things in life at the same time. And you're quite successful at it in terms of the outcomes, because you can do that. You have done it, and you're opening up another door for yourself, which is going to be quite successful and remarkable. But I feel that where you don't give yourself enough credit for in this journey is like you juggle in between your heart and your mind, and it seems like your mind wins every time with the source in here, and you put your emotions and your emotional needs on the back burner, and then you might be having some ups and downs and shake-ups at times, for a reason that you don't understand why. You might be feeling in a certain way in a certain day that you don't even know why that feeling is there, and it makes you feel uncomfortable and you just want it to go away. Your mind wants the cups, the emotions, representation of the emotions, go away, but it doesn't work that way. When you want it to go away, all you do is basically turn the upright to downside, and you just try to suppress it, but it's just like making the waters murkier, so the emotions are there to be explored and expressed, not to be suppressed. When they are suppressed, they are not going anywhere. So what you don't give yourself enough credit for is how much your emotions are speaking out for you and how much they're actually trying to lead the way. And you're more intelligent than you're telling it to yourself or showing it off or giving yourself enough credit for. So if like you're already incredibly successful that you don't give yourself enough credit for, like you have quite good accomplishment in the material world, but if you would have combined also your mind and your emotions, like if you would have your mind is quite clear and it's very determined and it knows what it needs to do. But if you also add that equation, your emotions, you're going to be unstoppable. I just put them face to face. Can you see that like the mind is speaking and the emotions are like looking with them basically? I actually would like to explain a little bit more. Can you explain, Spirit, a little bit more? What do you mean by balancing emotions and the mind so they're going to be unstoppable? What do you mean balancing emotions and mind so that they're going to be unstoppable? There are things that you're putting on hold because you think that it's not time yet or it's going to happen later. Some procrastination, but once you connect with your emotions, you might be able to see a little bit more clearly where do you wanna and where do you need to take actions towards. Not only leading your mind, because leading with the mind and taking actions looks like, okay, I know that I should do this because it's going to open these doors, because it's going to cause this thing, because it's going to enable for me to have this and that. So I will do that. I want this. I need to do this in order to get there. So let me do it. But with the emotions get into the play, it looks like, I would like to feel, let's say in a very simplistic way, like this for the rest of my life. I would like to prioritize, let's say, joy. I would like to prioritize feeling confident, feeling accomplished, feeling enough. So how could I do that? What would in the world makes me feel all these feelings put into my everyday life? And how can I start feeling all these feelings into my everyday life already from now on? How could I start shaping my life already based on that? So if you could see the difference a little bit. Because whatever you are going to create is going to be legendary, and you will be sharing it with multiple people, not only with yourself, but also with your friends and family. And when it comes to the juicy part, group number 2, you're incredibly intuitive and very well off, and it's that you have this exterior that you present to others and to the world that is quite serious, It might be also picking up a lot of energies and intentions from other people, but you never let them know. You never really let other people to know that you're this intuitive or picking up energies that easily. But there's this like inner child of you which is quite hungry for explorations, some type of like a passions of yours, expressing your emotions. So this is the part you don't give yourself enough credit for. I believe that once you connect with your intuition more, and once you like let it speak to you more and more, like you're going to be amazed by how hungry you were to your emotions, like all those things you would like to create, that you even didn't know they were there, is going to like burst up to the surface. Like there's some kind of like a holding yourself back from energy. With the Nine of Pentacles and Three of Swords in here, group number 2, I'll be honest with you, I feel that there are still some barriers around your heart space, something that you got hurt from. It might be even in the distant past somehow, but it's still there and affecting you. You had this energy of, I like to be enough. Like, I have to be enough, and quite independent in a sense that not letting someone into your life maybe even fully. Some kind of like a barrier, some protection around your heart. So you might not be giving yourself enough credit for the fact that you're actually ready to let this go, let this hurt go, let this protection go, and start trusting again. Maybe to other people. Can we get more clarity around the Three of Swords, please, too? You might not be so much in awarenessation of it. You might not be acknowledging it so much, or even had the time during the day to stop to think about that. Knight of Wands. Things are going to progress so fast once you actually see that you're not a broken heart anymore. You are healed. You are ready. I guess you just need a little bit of time to like give yourself to explore your emotions, understand it a little bit. You might be a quite practical person, very solution oriented, go-getter. Give me a task and let me hand you the solutions type of person. But it doesn't involve emotions there. And sometimes even like unknowingly, you might be using it as a coping mechanism to not look at your emotions even. We have a card. Empress. Oh my god, okay. And they let me grab another. Oh my god, Three of Pentacles. You are asked to let your heart open, connect with your feminine energy or the feminine figures around you, and cooperate and create together. Like your creativity or independence is also coming from some type of like a partnership in here. Letting people in. It might be a business partnership, it might be romantic, but in any ways. Like your success lies in a point where you be leading people, you be cooperating with people, and you're doing it with also some genuinity. You're not only operating from your masculine energy, which is required for you, and regardless of your gender, you're also letting your feminine side, creative side, receptive sides to get into play as well. Let's get some Moonology cards for you. For the group number 2, doesn't give themselves enough credit for Spirit. For the group number 2, doesn't give themselves enough credit for a time for healing. I feel like you don't stop, group number 2. You're always on the go. You don't stop or take time for yourself to process your emotions, your needs, physical, spiritual, emotional, mental. And it's not a waste. They want me to tell you it's not a waste to need a time out, to rest. You have 2 more cards. Oh my god. Communication is the key, and a new start is coming. Very interesting. So you don't give yourself enough credit when it comes to amazing new stars that you're bringing up, and you're doing it by using everything that is in your power. You don't give yourself enough credit for that. You don't give yourself at the same time enough credit for everything you put in order to get the new beginnings. Like, I feel like your mind is like a labyrinth, especially with the Gemini card in here. You're a great communicator. Your words holds a lot of power. Your stamina is what I'm hearing, and your presence says a lot more than your words. Actually, on the contrary to the Gemini card in here, you might be quite reserved with your words, but once you speak out, then it creates a big effect. And you might not be giving enough credit for this one. You might be actually thinking that you are not so good with the words, or you are not the best communicator, but that's not true. You might not be practicing it enough. So let's get last advice for your group number 2. General advice you need to hear at the moment. What's that, Spirit? For group number 2. What's that group number 2 needs to hear? Oof! Oh my god, this didn't happen before. Okay, I'll put this. Sorry for that. Does group number 2 needs to hear as an advice at the moment? Okay, we got a card. Hi, the book 11. Quite a spiritual number there. So, 11 says that, by the book card, the universe works within a structure of divine laws and principles that provides a framework for human experience and evolution. The love of abundance, the love of prayer, the law of karma, the law of attraction, the law of thought, the law of compensation, and the law of nature are only a few that are known. These principles create perfect order and operate with a kind of precision beyond human understanding. Even revolution has its place in the universal law. Human beings, in turn, have their own laws and customs that vary from culture to culture and family to family. Laws keep social order and govern behavior, reflecting an instinctive understanding that harmony is important. This is a time to learn these laws and conform them, rather than being the rebel and flaunting them. When this card appears, submit to structure and follow the rules even if they seem to make no sense. Release resistance, for universal laws will correct any disharmony. Open your eyes to those universal laws and it will be easier to go by the book at this time. Okay, I feel like those laws that were mentioned there are a little bit out of your limiting beliefs. Limiting beliefs? Okay. Maybe. Okay. However you understand that sentence, that wasn't what I was trying to say. These laws might be a little bit out from your general beliefs. So there might be some resistance first there about what you actually believe. There might be some things that you don't quite, let's say, absorbed or believe in it. It might be related to your spiritual side as well, like law of attraction, etc. So there might be some knowledge there that could actually make your life easier and better, that you're asked to discover a little bit more, read a little bit more, practice a little bit more. But these are all the messages I got for your group number 2. Hope they were helpful. Hope you resonated with them. Please give it a thumbs up and subscribe to my channel if you liked the video. It really do helps me a lot. I'd love to hear from you down in the comments as well. And if you'd like to book a personal reading with me, you can find the details on my email address in the description box below. But I'm wishing you an amazing rest of your day and week. I hope to see you next time. Until then, take care of yourselves and bye-bye. Hello group number 3, welcome to your reading. If you have chosen this radium white tarot deck, then this is going to be your reading. So let us jump into your reading. So Spirit, can you tell us where this group number 3 doesn't give themselves enough credit for? would you like to highlight? What does group number 3 needs to hear about? Where do they doesn't give themselves enough credit for? Oof. Where do group number 3 doesn't give themselves enough credit for? Oof. We have death. We are starting with a major arcana of the Scorpio energy, heavy Scorpio energy. I feel like you don't give yourself enough credit for all the transformation that you've gone through. Like every time like you were born, you thought that's it. Like I can't take it anymore. And another day born and you transmuted everything. And I saw 0101 when I'm saying that. And this happened multiple times. Like I just have to remind you that whenever a soul is basically could be able to go through a lot of deaths and rebirths energetically. They are equipped for it. They are made for it. They can take it. Like not everyone's journey includes this much of hardships to go through. Not everyone's equipped for that, but you are. You agreed to this one before you were incarnating. You could do this, so you are doing this. And I pick up an energy that you might be thinking, group number 3, that you're gonna be bitter. In a sense that, let's say that you were quite a sweet person. At your journey where you started. You were so open, so lovely, so naive, even I'm hearing. And then now the version of you is, it's not like just the opposite of it, but it's in a sense that, you know, that I'm not giving my energy freely anymore to anyone. So if you want to be in my life, prove it. If you want to be in my life, if I don't believe that you're worthy, then I'm not going to try to please you to be in my life. Like, what is in it for me even? So previously you might be thinking that, oh no, like I don't want to hurt that person. Like he or she's like still needing something, or like doesn't mean any bad. Actually, it's just who they are. Maybe it's me. Maybe I have to look out for myself because other people are right. So I have to please them. Now you're completely shifted. So it's a lot of healthier boundaries in here. So if someone is trying to back for your energy, you're like, nah, it's not happening. And I saw all three. You might be seeing a lot of signs. It doesn't have to be angel numbers, though it might be. And I feel like you're heavily protected. You're extremely spiritual. You're very connected to spirit. Spirit loves to work through you. You might be a Scorpio as well, so that might make more sense. You might be analyzing people quite genuinely, quite authentically, and like very naturally. You might have very staring eyes, even like intimidating. People might be intimidated by you a lot. Ooh, we have Temperance in reverse. For this group number 3 doesn't give themselves enough credit for spirit. There is this still like, think about looking back at yourself, remembering your previous versions and thinking that, oh gosh, like, it's not that you want to be that version. It's not that you want to go back. It's not that you're criticizing your own version at today's day. Because you're very happy about everything that caused you to be yourself today. You're very grateful for how much you come, how much you transmuted. But there's still this like energy that I can't quite name it. It's like not quite a transition because you're very well found where you are, but it's that let's see, try to fill up that emptiness there. I'll just, oh, I saw it before at the end of the deck, Judgment. I'll try to name that when it comes. Oh gosh, do I need to cover this? I really don't like it. Okay, I have this. Okay, I'll cover this. I'm sorry, it's YouTube. Okay. There's like countless people there. Okay, we have 7 of Swords in reverse. Seven of Wands in reverse, repetitive numbers again, sevens, and the Fool in reverse, and Nine of Wands in reverse. Okay. And we have Moon under the bottom of the deck. Group number 3. Let me drink a water. So, group number 3. You don't give yourself enough credit for when it comes to basically the person that you are naturally. Like, you don't play games, you don't hold information, you're extremely authentic, you're extremely open. You don't hold your cards back, you don't plan, you don't strategize. You are who you are. Whatever you see is whatever you got. Actually, I said that for group number 1. I was mentioning that they might have masters in group number 3 as well. Yes. So you might be thinking at some time that this is perceived as weakness. It's just because maybe in the past versions of yourself, you were thinking that, okay, I don't play games like other people. I don't strategize like other people. Maybe I don't try to put my life in strategic boxes or plans to get the place that everyone wants to go. Like, I want to have tons of money, for example. In order to do that, let me get a corporate job. In order to do that, let me just like be nice with my boss, even if I don't agree. Let's just say nice things to my colleagues' faces, but I might not actually like them, but I don't care. So you're not that type of a person. I don't see that you're ever basically trying to hold information or behave in a way that you were not actually feeling towards others, whilst you see a lot of others around you are doing that. So you might be feeling actually quite like a black sheep all around your earlier ages, childhood, teenage years, even like early adulthood. But you might be around your first or second Saturn return. The first one could be around age 28 to maybe 30. Second one, I'm not sure, around some 40s, a bit like early 40s maybe. Could be the time that you're having it at the moment. So you don't give yourself enough credit for all the genuinity, all the, and I saw 7:47 on the clock. You don't give yourself enough credit for your openness, your honesty. What is interesting with the Temperance and the Seven of Wands in reverse, you might thinking that you give up, you feel that you might not fight off as much. You might think that maybe you don't have a specific purpose. You might be thinking that everyone has, like, it feels like they know where do they want to go. It feels like they know what they want to achieve. They have family at a certain age. They got pregnant. They have kids at that certain age. They have their career seems like accomplished or going some specific direction. They present themselves as like they're happy in that versus look at me. Like, I don't want that. And so is there something wrong with me or what am I doing? So there is something around here like, where do you put your energy? Where do you want to put your energy? Where do you want to pour your energy into, spend your days by doing what is internally criticized and come back to you because your external reflections are not supporting you. So in a more simplified way, the people that you're surrounding yourself with is not sharing your vision. And then you find yourself, you cannot be quite grow into your own environment. Because once your vision is actually there and once you have this like a circle of supportive people around you basically, then anything else starts fitting into their own places very, very effortlessly. How you weave yourself, the actions you start taking, like your regular day-to-day tasks, and even like so-called riskier steps that you want to start taking in life because you feel like this is where you want to go is naturally supported because people around you believes in you. They believe in your vision. Versus imagine that you're in an environment that, let's say, in this case, you're watching a tarot reading. You want to have your own business and start doing your own readings and basically even like expand more, okay? And the people around you are, let's say, very corporate. They work in, let's say, finances, they work in a law firm, so I'm going to extend so, or they're professors like in a scientific field or, you know, any kind of like university, and then you're like, they're so sciencey, they're so logical, they have the facts, and they don't believe in this. Even if like I do the reading for them, and if it's very accurate, even if it shocks them, there is still an element there that I feel like I'm not respected enough for the thing I am so passionate and it's actually helping them. So if you're around that circle, then it's harder for you to keep basically, you know, pursue what you want to do and be consistent with it. And with the Judgment in here and Fool and the Nine of Wands in reverse, it's again like taking that leap of faith and lowering your guards towards taking a leap of faith in here. I feel that the Judgment Day is quite close for you. Like if you're already in this reading and if you're already watching it until this point, I feel like you already know what I mean. You're already resonating with it. It was just like you did not want to acknowledge this fact because it requires quite a big change, but it's there and it needs to happen in any ways. Especially with the Moon card in here, it's literally facing with your shadows, straight ahead, like looking darkness deep within the eyes and accepting it. It's nothing you haven't done before, group number 3. And I know it's easier said than done, definitely. So can we get more clarity? Where does group number 3 doesn't give themselves enough credit for Spirit, please? Oof, okay, 3 cards. Take time to breathe out. That came in group number 2. Ooh, look at the bigger picture, Sagittarius. Let me cover this up like this. Adjustments are required. The 3rd quarter moon. Okay, you don't want to accept the fact that there are some adjustments needed in your life. And you might make it easier by literally looking at the bigger picture, because if you focus on the details, then you might be getting a little bit more emotional and you don't want to leave the past behind, and you still want to bring some part of the past together with you into your future, which doesn't have any place in your future actually. So one thing I'm also getting group number 1 is that where you don't give yourself enough credit for is adjustments are required. That you don't give yourself enough credit for is that how close you are actually achieving your goal. Like it might be maximum like within a year or closer than that, that you're going to have big shifts in your life. It's coming, and right now you're forced to make an adjustment, and you might be thinking that the world is kind of working against you, but it's nothing that. There's something really needed to change in your life. Your perspective needed to change. Maybe even you need to travel. Like you might need to shift your focus to some completely different area in your life in order to basically move out from the place that you are feeling stuck. And this is going to require for you to pull your energy away from whatever was upsetting you. It sounds like an advice right now, but I feel like you need an advice. And it was also the group number 1's heavy topic. It was more or less around the advice rather than where you don't give yourself enough credit for. But I guess they go very much hand in hand, because you really need to see a bigger picture that, first of all, I'm hearing you're not a victim, or not. No one is a victim in this place. So give yourself enough credit for your needs at first. And everything also you have been doing to adjust and mediate the situation, literally. I feel like you have been giving a lot, whatever situation you have been in, and you weren't giving yourself enough credit for it, about how much you extended yourself. So let's get last advice for group number 3, please, Spirit. What's your last advice for group number 3? Oh. Best advice for group number 3, please. You might be at a position of like, you might want to make a decision. Oh. Know that you are blessed. 22 repetitive numbers. Oh my God. Yeah, I will also read this reverse position. Fork in the road. Okay. So, wish upon a star and watch it happen is what I'm hearing literally. So, 22. Let me read this one for you. The blessed. There are no moments in life when, out of the blue, it seems that everything has been orchestrated by divine intervention. Okay, there are moments in life when, out of the blue, it seems that everything has been orchestrated by the divine intervention. You feel blessed in ways that are difficult to express. It is as if, as the Red Sea parts in front of you and events come together to banish your troubles easily and naturally. You know deep down you did not deserve any of it. And yet, here you are. This is one of those times. Let awe and gratitude for all of your blessings guide you now. Whatever is happening to you is a blessing in disguise, literally. Okay, let me also read the fork and the road. Yes, correct. So this last message says that indecision is extremely frustrating and will lead to anxiety, loss, and confusion. At this juncture, you can't remain in place without losing your weight altogether. Avoid the tendency to let others choose for you, which amounts to a subtle refusal to take responsibility. Don't give your power away, not even to this oracle. By not making a choice, you are making a choice for which you must be accountable. If that choice leads to undesirable circumstances, take heart. Spirit never tries of giving you second chances. You can always start again once you learn this valuable lesson. You have been in the same cycle over and over again with the never-ending cycle. You have been thinking your way out. And the fact is that you had to speak truth to yourself, and whatever situation, if it's involving a person as well, speak truth and then let these things change, basically chaos and conflict. There are some situations in your life that your needs are conflicting with an individual, with a circumstance, whatever it is. And it is because there has been a talk that hasn't been done, because someone was overly in their head and trying to find their way out from a situation without actually speaking the worries out. And I feel like this was mostly you. So know that whatever is happening is definitely a blessing in disguise. Give yourself enough credit for everything basically you have been giving and everything you learned until this point. But this is all the messages I got for you, group numbers. We hope the messages were helpful and resonating. If you liked the reading, please give it a thumbs up and subscribe to my channel. It really does help me. If you want to share your experiences with me in the comments, I would love to hear from you. If you would like to book a personal reading with me, you can find my email address in the description box below. But I'm wishing you an amazing rest of your week and hope to see you next time. Until then, take care of yourselves and bye-bye.